Good morning. We left off yesterday with someone scaring the frijoles out of Arturo. Who was it? We're on page 31, chapter 3. Chicken pot poems. Envelopes scattered all over the place as I jumped back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. It was Carmen. Hey, what's up, Carmen? Maybe my greeting was a little too enthusiastic, because she got all wide-eyed like she couldn't understand why I was yelling so loud. I guess maybe I was happy to see her. I don't know, it was strange. Hey, right back. Her face lit up and her smile practically went from ear to ear. In the bright sun, the freckles on her cheeks were really noticeable, like cinnamon sprinkles. I wasn't exactly sure what to say to her. Are you hot? I asked. I mean, not hot, but like sweating hotness from the heat and, you're in Miami. I am, she said, and it is hot. It feels like Zimbabwe in August. She put the book she was holding onto the mailbox and then pulled her reddish brown hair into a ponytail. Yeah, I said, not exactly sure where Zimbabwe was. The look on my face must have told her as much, because she said, it's in southern Africa. The climate is really similar to Miami, except Zimbabwe is landlocked. Right, that makes sense. So what are you reading? It's Jose Marti's Versos Sencillos. I have to finish it for school next year. That sounds painful. I love poetry, actually. I really admire poets who can bare their souls on the page, you know? I like poetry? Is that a question? No, I don't. Not really. Poetry? I write it, sometimes. It was a horrible, shameless lie. I had never written a poem in my life. Cool, she said. Maybe I can read it sometime. Yeah, sure, why not? Why did I tell her this? Carmen laughed, her skin flushed. She fanned herself with her hand. When I'm in the sun too long, she said, I look like a lobster tail that's been pulled out of a pot of boiling water. I knew just what she meant. I get really pink, I said, like salmon in an oven too long pink. I can see that. Huh? So, she said, interrupting my total awkwardness, how was your first day at work? Did you get to answer phones again like you wanted? Nope. I cleaned pots and dishes all day and ended up covered in soap bubbles. And I almost got eaten by the gigantic dishwasher. Wow, that stinks, Carmen said, chuckling a little. I guess you don't stink because, the soap bubbles. Right, I said, because soap bubbles are clean, and why would I stink if I were drenched in soap? Wow, way to state the obvious. Carmen smiled and helped me sort through the mail. Abuela invited me to come to the restaurant with her, but I couldn't because my dad wants me to study in the mornings. Yeah, she stopped by to say hi to everyone, like she always does. Some strange guy came into the restaurant, acting like he knew everybody. Abuela didn't seem to like him very much. Wow, Carmen offered. Abuela likes everyone. It was true. La gente le gusta hablar de sus cosas, she always told me. Over the years, I realized how true that was. People really did like talking about themselves, whether it was about a wedding or a new baby or a kid who got accepted into a great college or a family member who had passed away. Abuela was always there to listen. When customers returned, Abuela recalled details of specific conversations easily. It made the regulars feel loved. If a new customer walked in, Abuela made it a point to learn a little about them. If customers didn't want to talk or share anything, Abuela would leave them alone, but she would always shake their hands and thank them for eating at the restaurant. I never saw anybody leave La Cocina de la Isla without a smile. This new guy was the only customer I'd seen Abuela treat differently. Carmen stared at me, and I realized it was because I hadn't said anything in a really long time. Arturo, you okay? Huh? Yeah, sorry. I glanced awkwardly at my phone and saw Mop had texted me. He told me to meet him and Bren at the basketball courts. I gotta go, so I guess I'll, see you around, I said, because I really didn't want her to play ball with Mop and Bren. I knew what they'd say, and I didn't feel like explaining why I was suddenly so interested in having a girl around, even though that girl was super cool, but also my mom's granddaughter. I just needed to shut up. My mom's goddaughter. I just needed to shut up and get the heck out of there. Before I could do anything, though, Carmen gave me a kiss on each cheek and turned to leave. See you later, alligator, she said, which left me half frozen long enough to notice that she had left her book of poems on the mailbox. Sorry about the dogs. Chapter 4. I Scream, a Dialogue. Bren and Mop are in the middle of tossing free throws when I get to the court. A huge dark cloud rolls in, threatening to rain on our game. It rains almost every afternoon in the summer. Bren, dude, what's in your hand? Me, a book? Bren, what kind of book? Me, a book of poems. Bren stops dribbling. Bren, by poems you mean like rap lyrics? Mop interrupts us and takes the book out of my hand. Mop, Jose Marti? Cool. Didn't know you were reading that. Me, I'm not. I mean, I guess I could. Will, maybe read it. Bren, I don't know any rappers named Jose. Is he new? Mop. Bren, Marti was a revolutionary hero in the Cuban War for Independence against Spain in the late 1800s. Bren, a Cuban rapper from the 1800s? Dude, that's awesome. Bren tries to shoot a three, but airballs. Mop. Are you sure you want to try out for the 8th grade team? Bren, I have a chance to start. Mop and I look at each other. Bren, so Arturo, perchance, does that book of Cuban rapper poems belong to a special someone who popped into your life the other day after so many years apart? Me, what? No. Bren stops shooting and smiles. Bren, bro, she was like the tallest girl I've ever seen. She's almost your height, Arturo. Mop takes the ball from Bren. Mop, every time you say bro, the English language loses its will to live. Bren, dude, I think you should totally ask her out. Me, no way. My mom is her godmother. We're practically related. Can we just play? Mop and Bren look at each other, then back at me. Bren, I think someone's got a thing for his god sister. Me, no, I don't. And there's no such thing as a god sister. Bren eyes the book in my hand. Bren, then why are you reading her book of Cuban love poems? Me, she left it behind. I just need to return it to her. Rain starts coming down in little drops, but she sure is still out. Mop takes one last shot, which banks in while Bren looks at me funny. Bren, dude, I can loan you my pit bull imitation shades. Those are killer. Mop, what does that have to do with Arturo reading poetry, Bren? Bren, because the shades will make him look cool, and tall girls like guys who are cool. Mop slaps his forehead as we walk off the courts. Mop, dude, I wish I didn't have to leave for camp this week. Bren, me too, man. I wish I weren't going away. I feel it's my duty to teach Arturo Cuban hip-hop. Mop, you're from Northampton, Massachusetts. Bren, not Cuba. We leave the courts and start down the alley and onto Main Street. Me, guys, seriously, I'm not interested in Carmen like that. I mean, she's cool and all, but we're practically related. Bren, hey bro, when love calls, love calls. Me, can we stop talking about it? Like, let's go get ice cream. Mop, an excellent idea. We walk to Two Scoops and take in the sights of summer. Long, humid days turn into showery afternoons, and pink sunsets conclude each day like the swirl of a mango guava and papaya sorbet. It doesn't get dark until about 8 o'clock, sometimes 9. We eat our cones quickly, careful not to drip melted ice cream onto our clothes. I look across the street and notice a fancy sign with cursive writing on it above a new store. I can't read the sign until I get really close. It says, People Place, the future is now. Me, guys, this weird man came into La Cocina today and told us he just opened a place a few blocks from the restaurant. I wonder if this is it. Mop examines the storefront across the street. Mop, it looks like it could be a boutique clothing shop. The sign looks flashy. Bren, bro, that could be awesome if it is. I need to get some fly clothes before school starts. Can't roll into 8th grade wearing these rags. Mop, Bren, if your clothes get any brighter, the sun is going to cease to rise. Me, you will literally cause the next ice age. Bren, don't hate the flavor, fellas. El sabor latino. Mop, we're trying to save humanity from your wardrobe. Bren, come on, let's go to my house and play Legends of the Universe. Mop, finally, a good idea comes out of the man's mouth. We walk and talk and each take turns dribbling our ball through the neighborhood. The rest of the week is exactly what I want out of summer. I hang with Mop and Bren every day after my shifts at the restaurant. I see Carmen occasionally around the apartment complex, and I eat a ton of ice cream. Life is good until Sunday family dinner when disaster strikes. Chapter 5, Conspiracy Theories. Aunt Tootie was making it really hard for us to prep for Sunday family dinner. Carl, did you read the paper today? She asked my mom. Nope, sorry, Kari, did you read the paper today? She asked my mom. I can't believe there's another bid for the lot next door. Did you tell Mommy? Yes, I read it, and no, I don't want to worry her. I watched Aunt Tootie pace nervously around the dining room at the restaurant while making a face like she was about to swallow an entire apple. Every day this week, she yelled at the top of her lungs. He stopped by the restaurant every day. He even invited me to lunch. Can you believe it? He invited me to lunch. Engreído. Mentiroso. No way. Tootie, calmate, you're getting hysterical. Hearing that word sent Tootie off again. Hysterical? Am I the only one who cares about this family? Oh my God, there she goes again. My Uncle Carlos slapped his forehead and went to the kitchen to grab a pitcher of water for the table. We were almost ready to sit down for dinner. ¿Qué pasa? Abuela asked from the other side of the room as Aunt Tootie flailed her arms around like she was painting the air. Nada, Mommy, my mom replied, then turned to Aunt Tootie. Tootie, you're making Mommy nervous. You need to sit down. We'll discuss this at the table. Fine, but it needs to be addressed. I know. Just sit down, please. Dang, she gets so hysterical. Don't say that, the family yelled out before Brian could finish. Carmen couldn't help but giggle. Let's both yell hysterical at the same time and see what she does. That could be really dangerous, I said. There's a ton of people in here, and Aunt Tootie likes using her hands a lot. Aunt Tootie shook her head while my cousins tried to get her to calm down. Who else put a bid in, Mom? I finally asked. You don't need to concern yourself with it, Arturo. Go and wash up. We're eating in 10 minutes. My mom put the newspaper on the hostess stand and went back into the kitchen to finish prepping. Before I left to wash up, I glanced at the paper and saw what Aunt Tootie was talking about. What does it mean? Carmen asked behind me. It means La Cocina de la Isla isn't the only business that wants to build on the lot next to the restaurant. Who else wants to build there? I showed the paper to Carmen. On the cover was a photo of the man in the white suit. He was holding up a sign with the same fancy lettering as the store I'd seen earlier. The words People Place were written in tacky gold cursive. We've been around for 19 years. No one deserves to expand more than us, Aunt Tootie yelled, trying to make eye contact with anyone who would listen. I can't believe it. I let him kiss my hand. I feel disgusting. Tootie, if we don't win the bid, we'll just have a new neighbor, that's all. My dad, Uncle Carlos, Martine, and Brian moved our tables toward the center of the restaurant to make one long table. Bren and Mop tried to help, but Bren somehow fell under a table and Martine, aka Jabba the Chef, stepped on him. So Arturo's little friends help out, but Choroso just stands there watching. I'm helping, Abuela, I told him. Must be nice, Martin taunted. Must be nice. Martin was such a hater. I shook my head and went to wash my hands. When I came out of the bathroom, I saw Carmen looking at the pictures on the wall. She smiled at the one of 9-year-old me, standing alone holding a basketball against my hip. My jersey was so big it looked like I was wearing a dress. I played on the 11 to 13-year-old team, and that was the smallest jersey they had, I said, now embarrassed that Abuela had put that picture up in the restaurant. You've grown a lot since then, Carmen said, and my cheeks suddenly felt like they had sunburn. Okay, the dinner conversation is going to have to wait until Tuesday. Thanks for listening.